Hey guys, welcome to a new class of contemporary Spanish politics. And actually, this is going to be, in a sense, the last class with content because on Wednesday, actually tomorrow, and Monday next week, you are meant to watch the videos of your classmates on What's Spain. And actually, on Wednesday the next week, I'm going to review for the exam and I'm going to comment on what the questions might look like. Also, to that regarding that issue. Tomorrow is going to be available on Blackboard a mock exam for you to practice and to get familiar with the model of exam. Actually, the exam is the midterm exam, so you're going to be able to see the questions there and how there's a timeout, etc., etc. And that's exactly the same model of exam that I'm going to be using for your final exam on the 18th. And if you have any doubt, please just ask me. And there's also going to be a test for me to check how the tool works. Okay, so let's go on with the class today. And actually, today's class is the one I normally like to finish this course with. That is, what's next for Spain? What are the prospects for Spain? What is up in the future for Spain? However, right now, I think the answer to this question, no matter what country you're talking about, is the same. All around the globe. However, there are other issues as well that were there for Spain. So the outline of the class today is going to be obviously COVID-19, even though we mentioned it in last class, and we talked about the social dimension of it and how is it going to affect. But obviously that's in the future for Spain. So I'm going to talk about the short-term future and how I'm going to tell you a little bit how Spain is dealing with this at the moment. Then also international relations, what are the main focuses there and what are the issues right now for Spain in the international relations arena. Then in the second half of this class, in the other video, I'm going to talk about the stability of the government and whether the government is going to survive the whole term. I'm also going to talk about polarization and how this is tiring for Spanish society, even though we have already mentioned this when we talked about the quality of democracy and we talked about political disaffection. And last but not least, Catalonia has to be there, even though right now we lost some focus on it, but it's still a main issue in Spain. I'll show you how it is, even though you're far away. I'll try to get you the news closer to you. So let's talk a little bit about COVID-19. I'm going to tell you today a little bit about the data of COVID-19 and how Spain is performing on this issue. And here you can see the curve. Actually, around this time, you were still here in Sevilla. Unfortunately, I mean, the timing couldn't be any worse. But right now, it seems that we are foreseeing an end. Each day, the number of cases and the number of people dying because of COVID-19 is decreasing in Spain. So we can see already in a relatively close future a halt, at least, to this crisis. And you see how the trend is clear in the case of Spain. These are confirmed cases. That's the data I'm going to be using. Also, if you look at the reproductive number of the disease, it's been for a long time already, for over a month, under 1. So actually the virus is not increasing, it's actually decreasing, which is obviously necessary to finish with the pandemic. And if you look into Andalusia, pretty much the same. This logarithm scale, actually the number of cases in Andalusia was, I mean, this actually people that have passed, no, this is people, actually, we're missing a number there. We're missing a number here. This is the logarithmic scale of the number of new cases in Andalusia, and this shows you the number of cases per day. So you see pretty much here, thankfully, the disease is under control right now. And that means actually that we are de-escalating already. We are de-escalating, however, slowly. I mean, we're still in the phase 0 that you can see here. I mean, this is to give you a little bit of information where we're going and how Spain might look in the foreseeable future. And from next Monday, we'll be in phase 1. So that will mean actually that we'll be able to meet with other people, however, in small groups and respecting the security protocols, pretty much using a mask and security distance. And actually some businesses will start opening, also bars, etc. Eventually Spain will go back to normality up to the 21st, but already during phase 3, for example, clubs will be opening already on June the 8th, hopefully, if the data suggests so. And actually, as you know, Madrid and Barcelona are the areas that have been hit hit worse in Spain, so those will be the last reaching phase 0. Quite likely. So hopefully the picture for Spain will be that during the summer we'll be back to normal life from the 21st, at least in Andalusia. That's what is planned at the moment. We should be back to normal with no restrictions. So that's, I mean, not that far away. That's a month and a half away from now, and actually from next week already being able to go to a bar and being outside in a bar with friends will make a big, big difference. What other things are in the agenda? Because obviously this determines everything. If this plan works, if we have no setbacks in the whole process, etc., this will affect the economy. This will also affect tourists coming during this summer. Actually, tourism right now is projected to be mostly national, so not many travelers from abroad. If any, will be from other European countries. And Spain is actually something that is going to push international relations actually at the European Union level. Actually, this is a picture of the last European Council meeting. It was an online meeting. You can see actually here in the top right corner the Presidente Pedro Sánchez. And however, no big decisions were made in that summit. It was a summit, so to say there were no big decisions made. But in terms of international relations, the main focus for Spain now, without any doubt, is Europe. And the reason why is because Spain needs from Europe to recover from this crisis. I'm not talking about the disease itself. I'm not talking about health. I'm talking about the economy. And I've already told you about rescue plans, but actually Spain needs from the support of the European Union. And how is that going to be done so far? Even this is the only thing that is being agreed so far, to reuse the European Financial Stability Facility, that it was a financing a tool for countries to finance themselves with money borrowed from the European Union. And that was used during the economic crisis between 2008 and 2015. However, this financial stability facility had conditionality attached to it. I mean, that meant that if a country borrowed money, that will mean that the European Union will impose conditionality in terms of what policies and what objectives, what macroeconomic objectives they had to follow. However, in this case, what it was agreed in the last council, the picture we saw before, was that this financial stability facility will have no conditionality this time. However, the scope of this tool is, I mean, it's big enough in the sense that it might reach 80 billion euros. However, that's 2% of Spain GDP, so it's still, I mean, 80 billion, no, that's more than 2%. That will be around, let me make the maths, will be around 5% of Spanish GDP. So still relatively limited for the amount of money that is going to be needed in the upcoming future. What Spain is really fighting for, even though this is a tough fight, and this is the interesting part of the European Union negotiations, it's for Eurobonds. So actually, you know how countries emit their bonds. So that means that actually they're selling debt. So people will buy it, and Spain will pay it with interest, and that interest will depend on the market itself and the perceived risk of the country defaulting by the end of the day. So what Spain wants, and also what Italy wants, is an Eurobond. So that means that actually the risk is assessed all over the European Union. So actually that will benefit the access to the financial markets of Spain and Italy. However, this is right now is a tough fight. With northern countries, particularly the Netherlands, has been opposing to this mechanism quite fiercely. Also, Germany is not a big fan of it, so to say. And actually, last month, it was an incredible press conference where the Prime Minister of Portugal, Costa, said that Dutch policies and the Dutch approach was disgusting. So actually it escalated and it was a bit heated. Right now, the in-between point is obviously this has already been agreed, but also to reformulate kind of a Marshall Plan for Europe, for the reconstruction of Europe after the crisis. Yeah, indeed. So this is the first half of the class. I'll leave you here to have a break, and I'll continue in another video. So